Growing up, I think had always been a very multi-talented guy. I could do a lot of things. I could draw really well. I could do almost anything I had an interest in and do it well. So my friends used to ask me, "You, what exactly is your talent?" Because anything I have an interest in and I decide I want to learn this, I would actually learn it and learn it well. So that's just how my background had been like.
Turn around. Turning point. Yeah. He's a Hello and welcome to Springboard with Virtual University. My name is Albert Okran. Welcoming you to Ghana's foremost developmental program and that place where the greatest minds in the world converge. Springboard is brought to you by the Springboard Roadshow Foundation in partnership with the Enterprise Group, MTN Ghana, and the Ghana Growth Program, itself a collaboration between Mastercard Foundation and Springboard. The Ghana Growth Program seeks to excite young people about opportunities in agriculture, agribusiness, and the technical and vocational sector. Something we'll be talking about a bit today in my conversation with my guest for today. Our media partners, Joy 99.7 FM, Joy News Television, the graphic group of newspapers, and of course, the Springboard channel on YouTube. Last week, we began a conversation about the entrepreneurial mindset. What kind of thinking, what kind of orientation do you need to believe enough to go into a business and build it and grow it to become an enduring, solid, stable, admirable entity? What kind of thinking do these entrepreneurs have in common? What can we learn from them? How can a young person starting out look at them and say, I too can become the next big thing in Ghana? Our first conversation was with Tonya Senea, who has made shoe making, shoe wearing, shoe admiring something that we all celebrate, and who told a beautiful story last week about the journey of horseman shoes. Today we push on from there to look at watch making and watch wearing. And ahead of this interview, I just found out that it's actually a 69 to 100 billion dollar industry. That means that's the amount of money that is made per year from making watches, and that's serious money. So wherever you are listening, call somebody, because my guest for today is the founder and CEO of Caveman Watches, Anthony Dzamefe. Anthony, welcome to Springboard.
Thank you very much, sir.
Good to see you. It's been a long time coming. I think we should have
It
had this
has.
quite a while ago.
Yes. But everything happens at the right time.
All things beautiful. All things. Thanks for coming.
It's a pleasure.
So, did you think this industry was this big growing up?
Yeah, I didn't know the actual figures like you do now, but I just knew it was a great industry, and what it takes to excel in that industry were attributes that I believed that I had. So yeah, I had an idea that it was a very big industry, but I didn't know the figures at the time. But yeah.
How big in the mental construct of people is what they weigh?
Yeah, I always like to say that in personal branding, the book will be judged by its cover. So what you wear, how you appear is very important. Because I happen to be a salesperson when I used to work in the corporate field. And as a salesperson, yeah, how I present myself, the first appearance would even determine whether my pitch was going anywhere or not. So yeah, what you wear is very important. And I have a very strong habit of, telling a lot about people based on their watches. So,
Really?
yeah, and you don't have yours on, so
I wanted to be safe.
yeah, play it safe. Yeah, but yeah, always look at people's watches. I can tell a few things about them.
Like what?
Personality types. When people can tell if they like loud watches or subtle watches. Somebody who loves minimalism would not wear a skeleton watch or, the size of the watch and all that. So just to start from there, you can tell a few things about personality types.
Where do you learn all this from? Because I found out that when people are experts in something, they make it sound so casual, so natural. They're still not talking about bold watches, skeleton watches. I mean, if you are not a watch person, you wouldn't even know. Where did
Yeah.
you stumble on it? Did you grow up with it? Was it somebody who stirred up an interest when you were younger or something?
I never liked or even knew anything about watches growing up till very late, till 2015. So I didn't grow up with any interest in watches. I didn't know anything about watches till 2015. And I like to say that the watch industry found me, not the other way around.
Tell me.
It found me. Yeah, because I just walked into a shop to buy a watch for the first time ever. I don't know why I even wanted to buy a watch. I had my 50 cities in my pocket, walked into the shop, and the watch was, I think, 300 cities. And I was like, common watch, 300 cities.
I'll tell you my story.
That I can even tell time on my phone. Why is the watch 300 cities? So I just left, and then I saw somebody selling a watch online for 50 cities. And I called him, bought the watch. And I just took a picture of it and posted it online. Not to sell it, I just posted it. And somebody said, "Oh, nice watch. Are you selling it?" And I said, yeah. Because at the time I was job searching. I had resigned from my previous work. I was home just looking for opportunities. So somebody came and just bought the watch. And I made some cool profit. I was like, there's something here. So that's just how the watch interest started.
You see this in your pocket and your mind began to change.
Yeah.
What was the background before that?
My background, I studied science in senior high. I was doing chemistry, physics, biology, elective mathematics. Some way, somehow, I feel like all these things have come to meet me here because I use a lot of elements of physics in my work. I left my science background and went to pursue business in UPSA. Now I did business management administration in UPS. So I feel like my technical knowledge from the science background and my business knowledge from uni, it's kind of like come together on one table for me now. And growing up, I think had always been a very multi-talented guy. I could do a lot of things. I could draw really well. I could do almost anything I had an interest in and do it well. So my friends used to ask me, "You, Kra, what exactly is your talent?" Because anything I have an interest in and I decide I want to learn this, I would actually learn it and learn it well. So that's just how my background had been like.
Sounds interesting. When you mentioned the story about seeing the watch and wondering about the price tag, I'll tell you a
Yeah.
story about myself and a few friends. They will not hold it against me if I
Hmm.
mention their names because this is part of it is public knowledge. So we
Okay.
went to watch the World Cup in Germany.
Okay.
It was myself, lawyer Isan Kuma,
Bring the names.
and then the CEO of Buena Vista Homes, Samuel Ewu, and then Horatio Ayi. There were four of us. Then we go into this watch shop. I think it was it Dortmund? It wasn't Dortmund. It was Düsseldorf. I mean,
Mm,
we're going to watch this football match, Ghana match,
mm.
and the watch shop was locked, and the bouncer was about twice your size. You are quite an
Huge.
impressive. This guy was big, black guy standing in front of the shop, and we were in our casual wear, jerseys and so on, with a guy in Germany who was taking us around. We got to the shop, the guy looked at us, and he wouldn't even move. I mean, we were pointing to the shop that we want to enter the shop, and he was standing at the entrance. Charlie, the way we were dressed, per your theory, I mean, how can we buy watches from that shop?
Yeah.
We felt
It was just looking at you guys.
So eventually, since we insisted that we wanted to enter the shop and see what was there, the guy kind of stepped aside and said, "If you insist, you can go in." And then we entered and saw, if I am not wrong, $150,000 euros watch.
Yeah.
And when we were standing looking at the price tag, we turned and the guy was smiling at the entrance. Charlie, you know how they say when the guy smiled at us, we smiled at him back and they walked out to the shop. And as we were going, he had this look of, "I told you so." Charlie.
He said, "If you insist,
100
if you insist, you can enter."
150,000 euros. I'm like, hey.
Yeah. Well,
Oh
watch.
my
Yeah.
goodness, this was 2006, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I've come to understand why watches would cost that much.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you chose to do watches. Did you think when you started that you would do it for a living?
And not initially. Not initially. Initially, I was just selling watches basically to survive. I mean, I'd resigned from my job and I just stayed home, opportunity
What were you
hunting.
selling before?
I used to work in a hotel. I started off working in the marketing department and then I got moved to the airport. So I was one of the guys who hold the placards at the airports
Beautiful.
to pick up guests for the hotel.
I have a hotel background as well.
Ah, okay.
My first job was in Golden Tulip.
Then we learn a lot from the
Yeah,
hotels, you know?
the night audit department.
Yeah, so I was at the airport with a placard, picking up guests, and it wasn't cutting it.
And they fired you from that one too.
I resigned
Okay.
actually, yeah, because it wasn't working out. Not the
Got you.
ambitions that I had, you know.
Okay.
And I wasn't doing it well. My passion was not in it. So one day I was like, let me save myself the trouble and my bosses. A lot of times I'll play truant all the time. So that was my last job. I resigned and just opportunity hunting. Then I just chanced upon this watch thing. So I was selling the watches just to survive, you know, make a few cities here and there to take me through the week. The next week, I try to sell another one, make some cities to take me through that week. But naturally, I'm somebody who keeps searching for the next stage in everything. When I don't like to settle at one place. You know, I get bored quickly. I want growth. I want to be challenged. When I um, when I finish achieving things and there's no more challenge, I tend to get bored. So I might pick a new challenge. So I think that's how it started. So initially, just selling watches to survive, and then after a couple of years, I'm like, let's step it up a notch.
So you started making them yourself.
Yeah.
What does it take to make watches? What kind of attributes do you need? What kind of skill do you need? What kind of connection do you need? Give me a sense of the engine of the industry.
Yeah. So I think first of all, the craftsmanship. You know, there are people who own companies or businesses, and they are not technical people. They have the mind, the business mind to grow a company. But I happen to have that, and also the technical know-how. So for me, I'm hands on when it comes to production. So I'm in the factory every time. I'm hands on with machines and all that. So for me, I would say the craftsmanship is very important. Attention to detail. The watch industry worships detail. You know, it's some of the things, the elements of the pricing worships detail. Having the bigger picture, the global picture is very important because uh, the Western world that had dominated the watchmaking industry, the perfection in their craft is something that you have to constantly pursue, you know. And we live in an area where perfection is new to a lot of people. Typically, I think Ghanaians are very okay with average. You know, it's good enough. It's good enough. And when you happen to be somebody who keeps pushing the level all the time to seek perfection, sometimes you become the difficult person, and it's hard to find workers who understand that attention to detail requirement. So yeah, these are some of the things that are important to have in the watchmaking industry.
You know, I could literally write a book about what my friends who are doing big stuff
Mm,
in TVET or technical,
mhm,
vocational, and manufacturing,
mhm.
what they see. I could literally write a book because this is exactly what Tonye said. This is exactly what Constance Wanika said 3 weeks ago. It's almost like a thread that
Yeah,
says if you want to have precision, if you
yeah,
want to have excellence, you need to go up against it because there is a proclivity or a tendency to take what is average and say it's not bad.
yeah. But with watches, there's no room for any error.
Tell me what goes into, you mentioned that the pricing
Yeah,
worships or the industry worships, I'm borrowing your
perfection.
word,
Yeah,
perfection,
yeah,
and that is a determinant of the pricing.
yeah.
For a novice like me,
Okay.
tell me what determines the pricing of a watch.
When I talk about perfection and pricing, let me give you an example. So when you're building an automatic movement, right, we put the movement into a time grapher, which would calibrate the accuracy of the movement for you. So you are seeing in figures plus or minus seconds, because typically every watch would either gain or lose some seconds in a day.
Mm.
It might be very minute, so you don't even pay attention to it. But when it builds up, then you realize that the watch is not on time anymore. Then you have to set it back. It may have delayed or sped up. So watches typically gain or lose some seconds. So we have a time grapher that we'll put a movement into, and according to different positions of the movement, because gravity has an effect on the accuracy of a tourbillon. So we'll rate the accuracy of the movement. If I put it on a time grapher after several readings and I'm not getting plus or minus a number within the region of 5, that is close to perfection, because there's no 100% accurate watch because of things like gravity, friction, magnetization, and a couple of other things. So when you're able to get plus or minus 5 or 3, you are close to perfection. It's acceptable for the top brands. So if I put a movement into a time graph after several days of working on it, and I'm getting plus or minus 8, then I have to start a process, oiling the gears, taking everything apart, demagnetizing, doing all this and that, and I read it again. While I'm doing all this, the client has no idea that I'm trying to achieve plus or minus 3. All they're saying is a watch and a movement. So that's where you stick to the code of watchmaking. You get to a point where if you are still getting plus or minus 10 or 8, do you just wrap it up and give it to the client because he has no clue about that, or do you stick to the code of watchmaking? So that's the perfection example that I'm giving you. So if it's probably taking me extra days and extra days to keep taking the movements apart until I get plus or minus 5, because I'm sticking to that, then obviously I'm putting in more work.
Wow. You know what? And Chen is a masterclass.
I'm putting in more work, so the price will be affected.
This is the 101 of. It's not yet a masterclass for me, because I'm now learning the rudiments of watchmaking, the rudiments of perfection, what drives quality, why you would call a certain product a top-notch product. And Anthony Dzamefe, the CEO of
Caveman Watches.
Caveman, because I done another man, it almost tripped me.
Yeah, to Horseman,
and I'm now doing Caveman. Who knows? Next week could be another man.
Something man.
What drove? I'm going to come back to this. What drove the choice of name?
The name Caveman. When I started, after I sold watches for some time and I moved to repairing watches, I was always finding a new challenge, because I realized some people didn't want to buy a new watch, they want to fix their watches. So I went to learn watch repairs from the roadside watch repairers, apprenticed for them. And then after some time, I realized there were a couple of people who had good watches but bad leather straps. They didn't want to buy a new watch, just change their straps. So it's me going to Cantamanto again, learning from shoemakers to apprentice for them to learn how to make leather straps. So the whole time that I was making straps and repairing watches, I moved to collecting old parts of broken watches, attempting to use them to form a new watch. I mean, the whole process made me extra introverted. I could stay indoors for 2 weeks and not step out. I naturally don't like crowded places. You hardly see me going for parties or entertainment related events. If I'm out, it's a business seminar, it's an award night, or some stuff like that. So I have a very indoor life, private life. But when I was learning all these things, it became crazy. I could stay indoors for like 2 weeks and not even come out. And I quite remember my friends would call me for, maybe let's go play basketball, or call me for a trip or something. I'd be like, oh, that guy, I don't mind him. He won't come out of his cave. Oh, he's always in his cave. Oh, he won't come out of his cave. They used to always keep saying that. And I realized that it was very similar to how the cavemen created things. They were literally just in their caves, and with their handcrafts, they would build things. So, and while I kept working, I would watch documentaries, how the pyramids were built with such ancient technology that even baffles us now. We don't know how those things were built with the technology we have now. So it made me really appreciate the craftsmanship of old, the handcraft, the power in it. So it was a bit of that coming together, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to build a watch brand, build watches that will be durable enough to be passed down generations to say, oh, this was my grandfather's father's watch. And the slogan of the company is be remembered. And we will be remembered as the crazy ones who dared to start it. So that was how the name Caveman came about.
So we want to be remembered as having had this conversation. So if you just joined us, just so you can remember us, my name is Albert, and my guest for today is Anthony Dzamefe. He's the CEO of Caveman Watches, and we are threading our way through trying to understand the origin and the journey and the philosophy of the business. He tells me that by looking at your watch, he can tell the type of person you are. And since I do not want to be found out today, I'm watchless, but I'm watching his watch. So tell me, looking at your watch, what can I say about you?
What do you think?
No, you seem. I'll tell you. I didn't see from your watch. I don't have your skills,
Great.
but so far, I get the impression of a very intense person, too, very intentional, three, very intelligent, and four, very passionate about what you do and willing to sacrifice for it, even if nobody else thinks that is the way. Is that a good summary?
Very much, yes. Very, very much. And this happens to be my only real personal watch.
Okay.
Yeah, like my only personal watch.
Tell me.
People will think I have a lot of watches, but I don't. This is my only personal watch.
So the other ones are public watches. Call your mother wanting them.
Because anytime I would have a watch, this is the only watch that I've made for myself.
Okay.
I think that's the best way to put it.
So tell
the
me,
other watches.
what does it have? That how is that?
It has my signature in there. It's a flying tourbillon movement, and it has real diamonds on it. So I went into stone setting, so I can start setting diamonds on watches, and it's the first one that I made for myself. So it's my only watch. All the other ones that I sometimes wear, there would be watches that I end up giving away.
Do people sometimes buy watches off you? Like, did they see what you're wearing? They said, I want exactly this one, and take it off you and buy it.
Happens. Yes, happens. And yeah, it happens a lot.
Tell me, I'm studying the science and the art of watches. Beyond being able to predict the kind of person it is wearing the watch, do watches define human behavior? Do you think they do?
I think it's the other way around. Like I said, your behavior will determine the kind of watch you would choose.
If you gave me a watch with diamonds on it, fine. I'm walking to it. I won't be holding my hand like this.
Yeah, but somebody based on their behavior wouldn't even wear it in the first place.
I can imagine.
Yeah. Some people just wouldn't wear a gold watch because they think it's too loud. They want, even if they're going for gold, they want white gold. So it looks like silver, but it's gold. So I think it's the other way around, that personality types rather determine the watches that they go for.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know all this about watches, or are you as new to the craft and the trade as I am? You know what? One thing I love doing is asking questions.
Great.
And I don't feel any shame in not knowing. What I would rather feel ashamed about is not asking.
And giving the wrong answers.
And so I'm going to ask you a lot more about watches, but even beyond that, when I come back from this break, I'll be asking you about not just caveman watches, not just about watches, but what you've learned on the 10-year journey of caveman about what makes a business work.
Great.
And we can harvest those ideas for the benefit of somebody watching us who says, I want to start. What do I need to know and what do I need to avoid? Is that a good deal?
Perfect. I love it.
Straight from the break, that's what we'll do. This is Springboard, your virtual investor. And by the way, I'm here with Anthony Dzamefe, the CEO of Caveman Watches. And we started by asking, what is the meaning of the name Dzamefe? He says it is as the close approximation is a place of
hospitality.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he has found a meaning that is as close to watches as he can find. He says hospitality. What is your own meaning of the name Dzamefe? When I come back from this break, if you have found a better name than what he has, a better meaning than what he has, let's explore that one. This is Springboard Innovation University, brought to you by the Springboard Roche Foundation, our partners MTN Ghana, the Enterprise Group, and the Ghana Growth Program. a collaboration we have with the MasterCard Foundation. Please don't go away.
Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, we put the final touch. There we have it. Crack. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Take 5 minutes, guys.
People, the hustle is real, but Ghanaians are pushing it. I have been so inspired by what people are doing. If you now you no do for yourself, nobody will do for you. So you for do now.
Every step, every story, and every hustle. We're backing your journey. Together, let's build that dream from the start to something spectacular. MTN.
No stress. Submit your insurance claim online in just seconds on the Claims Express portal. Simply upload your national ID, cost estimates, pictures, and more to get started. Submit online, track progress, and get paid fast. Skip the paperwork and get back on the road with ease. Visit claimexpress.enterprisegroup.net.gh for easy claims and quick payouts with absolutely no stress.
Enterprise, your advantage.
Welcome back to Springboard, your virtual university, and to this incredible conversation about watches, about movements, about time. And I'm learning some new terminologies as we trace the journey of Caveman Watches, and also learn from Anthony Dzamefe what it takes to build a business. In case someone is asking, what is all this about? We call it the entrepreneurial mindset, the kind of thinking that it takes to build a business. So we want to learn from people who have done it and inspire people who are about to do it or just started on their journey. Is that not a great idea? That's exactly what we're doing. So this is brought to you by the Springboard Ratio Foundation in partnership with MTN Ghana, the Enterprise Group, and the Ghana Growth Program, a collaboration between MasterCard Foundation and Springboard. Let me just remind those of you who were able to sign up for the Enterprise Spotlight that the shortlisted group will soon be announced, and they get to win a very exciting package of prizes, including mentorship, not just cash from the Enterprise Group, but also mentorship from seasoned business leaders. And my guest for today, Anthony Dzamefe, is one of the judges. Please don't go and beg him that when he sees your entry, he won't. Are you excited about the idea of looking for people with great ideas and giving them a push?
Oh, I love it. And I kind of envy them. I wish I had that opportunity when I started. So yeah, they are really privileged and lucky to have that.
Yeah. What would you be looking out for personally?
The passion behind the business is the scalability of it, sustainability, also the impact,
Passion,
environmental impact.
scalability, sustainability, and environmental impact. So that's the marketing scheme from Anthony Dzamefe. Please make sure you meet those criteria, or you will not be shortlisted. And before we went for the break, or when we started the show, I was asking you to tell me your meaning of the word Dzamenfe. And many of you have sent your entries trying to. So I think I should buy a Caveman watch for the person who will win this one, because it's a nice price. I mean, nobody gave me Caveman watches when I was starting out. So some interested parties have sent me, and your definition was a place of hospitality.
Yeah.
I'm pleasantly surprised. So Anita had the worst entry. She says that she can only contribute to the word pe. It means a place. It is true, but I mean, who gives a price for that one? So you are a fake ever. You don't know the meaning. Papaya says a house that is joyful. And I'll give it to him, I'll give him some small credit, even though the earlier one, Isaac says, you have come here and you are a visitor and you have enjoyed yourself.
That's hospitality, isn't it?
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes. And then another one says a combination of several words that you can get an idea from, but you can't put meaning to, something that you alluded to earlier on. But let me tell you something. I went to Sefako.
Okay.
I become a BSc. and Sefako can't get it wrong. She sits behind me in church. So when I want to use an every word in my preaching, I say, what is the correct word? And she give it to me. So she sent me this audio that I'll play for you. She says,
"Hello, Red. Yeah, so after further consultation, the name Dzamenfe is more like you going to a place where you were received well. And so like you loved that place. So like the part German, the place, you are satisfied with that place. So more like it.
Charlie, this is
I got it.
Charlie, you got
I got it.
Try. You know the whole time. You know the name of the meaning of your name.
Got it.
Hey. Charlie, so if you hadn't gotten it right,
Charlie, imagine my own name.
you'll be getting calls from your hometown. They say, Charlie, no, you must report yourself. But let's go back to our subject of watches. I'm learning words like movement and use them very seriously. What's that?
It's just what people call the engine.
Okay.
So the engine of the watch, but it's the movement.
So how do you situate digital watches in the construct of the conversation we are having? Those don't have the issues that you have mentioned. That quest for are they like variations of
digital watches are actually not made by watchmakers.
Okay.
You know, it's all tech and motherboards and apps and plugins and upgrades and all that. So it's not actually made by watchmakers.
Can tell from the look of your face you want to say something, or you don't want to say it.
Well, not necessarily, but that is why traditional watchmaking brands don't have smartwatches.
I get it.
But fashion brands, you mention a brand like an Emporio Armani, or they are fashion brands. So they are not known for watchmaking. They are fashion brands. So they have shoes and bags and perfumes and watches, but their core image is not watchmaking.
Okay.
So for brands that have watchmaking as their core image, what they build the brand on, they are known for the craftsmanship and the watchmaking. And smart watches or digital watches are not made by watchmakers.
So is watchmaking like a science or an art or
It
a
is.
philosophy?
It is. It's a whole.
Everything.
It is everything combined that you've mentioned. Yes.
Let's go to business. I mean, one of the objectives of this conversation is to help that person starting a business, borrowing from your mountaintops and also your valley moments, borrowing from your breadth of experience. So this is 10 years, is it?
Yeah, 10 years.
What has been your biggest observation or lesson in the 10 years of business?
There's quite a number of them, but if I should mention one, it would be building value.
Explain.
Building value. When I started my business, it got to a point after selling watches and I wanted to launch my own brand, Caveman Watches. I believed it would work. I was very confident in the idea. Maybe because my years of selling watches had given me an insight on the watch market and buyer preferences and a track record of sales. So I kind of believed that with my own brand, it would be exponential. But that's my vision, right? I can't blame other people for not seeing it because it's my dream, my goal. When I put my business plan together, I started approaching people, looking for investment and funding. And I realized one day that, in a day I could go to like 3 or 4 different locations, 3 or 4 different meetings with big men, hoping that I get some investment somewhere. Then one day I realized that, Tony, the whole day you've been moving around looking for investment, but how many hours have you actually used to make watches? So I realized that I was actually spending more time looking for investments than working. Then I said, yeah, that's true. I'm going to flip it the other way. When I had my idea to build my brand, I didn't know any of these big men. I'm just going to stick to my direction to build my brand. If the help comes, obviously it will make things move quicker. If it doesn't come, I'm still going where I'm going. So most of these meetings that I used to go for, you realize that they just waste your time. The thing about Ghanaians, they wouldn't tell you no. They'll say, oh, I'll call you back. Let me see what I can do. One of our just attitude or culture that I don't really like. Ghanaian would not just tell you no. They'll beat around the bush, find a way to soften the bad news. So they'll waste your time. and actually end up giving you nothing. So my philosophy became, I'm going where I'm going. You are either with me or get out of my way. So that became my approach, and I focused on building value in my product, because a valuable product is good marketing on its own. It sells itself halfway. So that's what I changed, and focused. I started turning down investment meetings. Initially, I used to chase them and end up getting disappointed, wasting my time. Then I flipped my mindset around, focused on the craftsmanship, on the product, making sure it's valuable, and people who identify and appreciate value, they would come.
Will that be something that you want to pass on to someone who wants to start as a lesson worth pursuing, that invest in your craft and the quality of your output, and not just chasing people around without direction?
Yeah.
What would be lesson number 2 if I allowed you to add through in the second
Lesson number 2 would be...
And there'll be a number 3. And
lesson...
then I'll stop there.
Lesson number 2 would be emotion management. I think people don't realize that as much as they're thinking about capital and structural assistance, what actually makes a lot of people fold in business is the emotions that come with it. It is very torturous to be an entrepreneur. You have to handle a lot of things, the stress that comes with it. You could be just somewhere and a phone call can change your mood because somebody has done something. Your emotions are so unpredictable because a phone call can, change how you're feeling. So that emotion management, stress management is what fools a lot of people, not even about the financial side. So that is one thing that I came to realize, and then I started becoming more conscious of it. I play golf now, and golf is a very good way to manage emotions. Golf teaches you how to remain calm when things are not even going well, because the more you lose composure, the worse things get. So emotion management will be the second thing.
I'm going to come to the third shortly, but the World Economic Forum in its annual World of Work report rates emotional intelligence very highly in the skills that one needs to navigate the world of work, especially between now and the year 2030, the next 5 years. They rate it so highly that if you don't have it, your chances of rising to the top in any field of endeavor will be severely impacted. Would you align yourself with these thoughts based on what you see about emotion management?
Perfectly. Yeah. I think it's one of the most crucial things, yes, before the other things even come.
And in that basket, I think self-awareness is one of your big points.
Yep.
Let's come to the third point that you would like to leave with somebody who's trying to build a business. You've said 1 creates value. That means that whatever you do, the work must speak before you speak. You can speak all right, but the work must speak first. And then the second one you're saying is that manage your emotions.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. When you come home and that day the sales has not been good, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, manage the emotions.
You use the word torturous.
Yeah.
You don't often hear people use those words about business, but that's a very strong word.
It is.
It is.
Sometimes you feel like you're cursed.
Oh my goodness.
Feels like a curse sometimes.
And the person will ask, so then why do we do it?
Yeah.
I hear people talk about very challenging moments with business. So the natural question then is, so what is in it? Why do you still do it?
I think there's no other way. Some of us, right? We're all different. I mean, from birth. Some of us have no other choice, no other way. Our personal attributes do not allow us to fit into the bureaucratic setting. So the more we try, the more we fail at it. So it's our only way to create our own businesses.
So you think there are people that they should not bother finding jobs if they don't do well?
Yeah, there are some people. They will try and not be able to fit in. I was one of those people. My personal attributes made it hard for me to fit into the bureaucratic setting, because something that everybody just abides by, I questioned it.
Okay.
I would question everything. And everybody would think, oh, you Tony dear, you always have an opinion. Just keep quiet. I'm like, why are you doing it without understanding why you're doing it?
Okay.
So I'm the type of person who wants to understand why, not because I'm rebellious or anything, but I believed it was important to know so I can even improvise in my thinking. But our structure is in a way that even growing up, we would hear our parents say, when adults talk, you don't talk, keep quiet. We had been hammered into us from childhood that when authority speaks, you shut up. So we had become followers, and that is why we have employees who cannot think for themselves. If you don't tell them to do this, they won't do it. If you tell them to do something, they won't question why.
So have the employees of Caveman come to the point now where they know that they can tell you their peace of mind and it's normal. It's not like they are being rebellious.
For me, anytime an employee comes to ask me something, like, boss, how should we do this? I would ask you, what do you think? So I like to give them the voice, and that's what will allow me to benefit from their intellect, because they could be smarter than I am. If I don't give them the room to give me that, then I'll be limiting myself from what I'm gaining from them.
And they're allowed to be ambitious?
Very much.
I tell you something. One of the most enduring stories I remember is from my friend Kweku Beduado, who said in my interview with him at the time when he was CEO of Stanchat Ghana before he went on to South Africa. And Kweku mentioned that in this very first week at work, he went straight to the MD, one very amazing guy called Vishnu Mohan, and asked Vishnu, what does it take to become MD of a bank? Yeah, and I said, that was probably the boldest.
Yeah, that's a strong question.
He didn't even see anything wrong with it. I mean, how do you go to work? Your first week at work, you are doing orientation, then you spot the MD, and then you say, "Sir, can I ask you a question? What does it take to become MD?"
Wow.
He says, to his pleasant surprise, the guy says, "Come, sit down." In his office. And the guy told him 3 things. And he wrote it in his notebook. And exactly 10 years later, he was MD.
Oh, that's a good leader.
And the first Ghanaian to become the MD.
Oh, amazing.
And guess what? The day I was interviewing him, he had the book in the studio. You know what? Everyone watching and listening wanted to know what was in the book. And I read the book.
Amazing.
It wasn't anything out of this world.
Great.
And I said to him, Kweku, it's not what Vishnu said. It's what you did with it.
Great.
It's what you did with it.
Yeah.
Let's go to your third point. First point is about creating value. Second point is about managing your emotions.
Yeah.
You say it's a torturous road sometimes to do business. Let's go to the third one.
The third one would be, in line with what we were just saying about managing people. Managing people would be the third one, because I keep saying that your company is going nowhere without people. And the company can only grow as much as the employees grow. When the employees stop growing, the company's growth would also stop. So it's very intertwined. So the mistake most people do is just being centered on the growth of their business. But you need to, first of all, have priority on the growth of the workers. And that's one of the things that I did, or I constantly do. I like to speak for the employees, because not too long ago, I was on that side of the table. So I know the feeling. Look, I know the feeling. I remember it like yesterday. And it's not easy for the employee to wake up at dawn, get in traffic, get to work, go through the hustle at work, finish, get to the station to join a queue, fight to get a trotro home. You get home, you don't have much time to do anything. You fall asleep and the alarm bell rings. Another day. No joke. I remember it too vividly. So I appreciate so much the input of the workers, and I'm always craving for them to grow in line with the company. So I don't want to see the business growing, but the workers stagnant, So I'm constantly the type of person to keep calling the HR. How much is this person earning? He works so hard. When they tell me the salary, I'll be like, I don't think the salary matches with the input we are getting from him. He's really crucial. His work is amazing. And I would always be pushing the HR to increase the pay. So it gets to a point where the HR and the accountant will come to my office that, boss, you need to relax. Didn't increase salaries just yesterday. You need to relax. It's not done, So that's the thing that that is very dear to me. I know the hustle very well. I know the importance of the workers, and I appreciate them very much. I worked in a place where I felt like my potential was being suppressed, and sometimes I actually feel bad for my previous workplace. That if they had allowed me to really flourish, it would have benefited them as well. But I felt like most of the times the systems don't allow the workers to flourish. So that's something that I don't want to repeat. I give my workers all the room to hear their opinions. Sometimes I'll tell you, do it as you would. If it was your company, take it like your company and do it how you would do it for your company. Because you are very smart and I trust you. And I'll watch.
We wrote a book on building your dream business, and it did well. But later, we wrote a second book or another book on intrapreneurship,
Great.
becoming a star in your
the company,
workplace.
yeah.
And that book flew through the roof
Great.
because the principles we're sharing were almost literally like taking the 10 principles of entrepreneurship
Mhm.
and then flipping them from the perspective of the employee, the team member, the worker, the person who is earning a living working in a business, to see this is how to do it if you want to do well in an organization owned by somebody else.
Mhm.
And it's like working as if you own it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And those are the thoughts that
Yeah.
we shared.
Yeah.
So your principle number one really will be create value.
Yeah.
And that's non-negotiable.
Yep.
Create value big time. And don't just go around asking for money. Create value.
Mhm.
Second one is manage your emotions.
Yep.
Third one is managing people well.
Yep.
Great. Let's stay with something you said in the second point. At a point when you're making the second point and you said business is challenging. Use the word torturous. As you, if it is, then why do you do it? And you said, for some of us, there's no other way.
There's no other way.
I asked Tony Senaya a question last week. Let me ask you the same question because it's quite interesting. Do you consider this a calling?
What I consider a calling is the impact aspect of it. I believe that God gave some of us some abilities, some talents, and it's a responsibility that He puts people like us among everybody and say, hey, I've given you all these tools and they're not yours. You're going to flourish, succeed, and make sure it benefits people around you. And if the tool to achieve that is this business, then it's in line with that. So what is a calling is that impact calling. You know, what you do, not everybody can do it.
Yeah.
So God gave you those attributes for you to shine upon the people around you. So you are a custodian of that value to pass it across. So that is what I think the calling is. Yeah.
The word custodian, the word stewardship, which is
Yeah.
closely related, is also a cousin of the word, like an ambassador of the industry. Do you feel like that sometimes?
Yeah. Yes, very much so, because I have a bigger responsibility here. Watchmaking or horology itself had never been a thing in our side of the world. I started that in industry, and so I'm actually moving in that direction of training, passing it down, um, tutorship in universities. So very soon you would actually see watchmaking becoming a real thing in our schools, curriculums being built around it. So yes, that's the responsibility, the ambassadorial part of passing horology, watchmaking down into our system.
What do you want to see 10 years from now?
For Caveman as a brand, and generally for Caveman as a brand, 10 years from now, we should have a bigger say in the global conversation when it comes to luxury watches. 10 years from now, when it comes to Ghana as a country, I want to see more entrepreneurs thinking globally beyond our borders, building value, looking at the standards that are required to break into international markets and, you know, sticking to those standards so that we break that narrative of locally made items are not good. We need to put in more work to eradicate that mindset.
You didn't just go for making watches. You actually emphatically said you were making luxury watches.
Yeah.
Why?
It's my personal standards. You can only build what is in line with your personal standards. I believe as a businessman that I cannot sell any product if I cannot live it or be a good ambassador of it. So my personal standards for things, before I even started making watches, in everything I do, I'm looking for perfection and, top notch. So there's no way I could build any other type of watches but luxury watches.
Did that determine the choice of location for the business?
Yes, of course it does. Type of clientele that you would have obviously would be people who also have an eye for attention, for quality, for value, and you have to be positioned accordingly. Yes.
My most enduring Caveman location is the one near the East Legon police station,
Yes.
near the club,
Yeah.
the executive
Fitness club, yeah.
fitness club. So right there, it's with a nice wooden paneling.
Yeah.
Is that the main location? Is that where I can find you if I wanted to find you?
That is the showroom, yes.
Okay.
That's the main showroom. We have one showroom in Ajingano. That was our first showroom actually, and then where you just described, opposite the police station in East Legon, that's where our new showroom is. And then we have the factory in East Legon again at Addis Ababa Street.
And I'm sure that's where you are.
That's where my office is. That's where the office complex and the factories and all the machines are.
I'm not surprised that you're where the machines are.
Yeah.
My description of you based on your watch, I could tell that you will not be in the showroom. You'll be in the factory.
No. Sometimes 6 months I've not been in the showroom, 7 months, and I've not stepped there.
Because you're looking at the factory.
Yeah. When I get there, I feel like a stranger in my own showroom.
Because once you generate the value, the show will take place.
Yes.
You know what? It will be unfortunate if I don't give you a chance to speak directly to that person who is starting that business. Today, who says, "Oh, Lord, may me too one day have my day on Springboard telling my story of my business. Maybe 10 years from now, look into this camera and just speak directly to that young person and give them a word or two they can hold on to and work with."
So if you happen to be that person wondering where to start from, how to get to the very top of your dreams, my advice to you would be that sometimes you need to look where nobody else is looking, because we tend to have a tendency of always rushing into already suffocated spaces, but maybe you have a special, unique talent. Don't think that that talent cannot be industrialized. It can be with mentorship. So, whatever your key talents or attributes are, I think you should believe that you can turn it into a business with the right guidance and mentorship. And even if it's not something that you already see around you, that is the whole beauty of it, that you get to be different and be unique. And what is more exciting than the thrill of finding out how far it can go? So please have all the confidence you can in yourself, seek mentorship and guidance, read a lot of books, and don't put any limitation on your dreams or your passion, because anything that you're doing, if you are the best at it, you will be fine. If you happen to clean gutters and you happen to be the best at cleaning gutters in the world, you will be fine. So whatever your dreams are, wherever your passion takes you, just make sure you go all the way and you enjoy the journey.
That's very beautifully crafted. It was a movement based on your own experience, your own learnings, and your own observations. Anthony Dzamefe, now I know the meaning of the name. I know he calls the place of hospitality, and it is as close a description of his name as you can find. And this has been a conversation about the entrepreneurial mindset. Love much of what you've said, but I would like to center on two things that have stuck with me for very good reason, because I can relate to them very much. And that is the fact that with your degree, with your business degree at UPSC, also in East Legon. I think it's an East Legon thing in there.
Yeah, we are stuck here.
Yeah, with your business degree and everything, you did two apprenticeships that are of interest to me. The first one was with watchmakers, you said? Repairers. Then you also mentioned that when you were looking at the leather,
Yeah.
the
The
straps.
Yeah.
You also went to do a second apprenticeship to
Shoemakers.
understand with shoemakers.
Yeah.
That humility that says, this is my dream, and a foundation must go down before the building goes up.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what people say. I will do what I have to do legitimately to learn what I need to learn to become what I want to be. Is so huge that if I pair it with any other learning, it will reduce its significance to me. So let that be my biggest learning for today. And I think it's a good enough one to share with anyone listening to you, that this man was willing to go down in order to go up. Are you willing? If you are, let's see you here 10 years from now.
Right.
Is that a good one?
Perfect. Perfectly crafted.
The man, the man whose name means a place of hospitality. It's been a great time with you, Anthony. Let's do this again.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. So the next time you see me, the last time my presence was in your showroom, it was to get a luxury watch for one of my top partners and friends.
Oh, great.
At last Christmas.
Great.
This year there will be an increase in the number of Caveman watches I buy from the showroom where you are not you are not there.
But I'll hear of it.
You'll hear of it. You'll hear of it. How big is faith for you?
It's everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you have faith to see, I'm a person of faith, very, very much. Yes.
And I say an amen to that dream.
Yes. Thank you.
This has been Springboard in Virtual University with Anthony Dzamefe, helping me to understand how Caveman began and where he's going next. He wants to have a bigger say in that 100 billion watch market, and he says it will grow to 130 billion by 2030. I'm tracking the industry.
Amazing.
And I'm increasing my friendship with you, so that you remember me. But this is just a beautiful story that we are sharing with you about having a dream and being willing to dig deep and work hard with humility till that dream is achieved. Springboard has been brought to you by the Springboard Roadshow Foundation in partnership with MTN Ghana, the Enterprise Group, and the Ghana Growth Program, a collaboration between Mastercard Foundation and Springboard. Our media partners, Joy 99.7 FM, Joy News Television, the graphic group of newspapers, and the Springboard channel on YouTube. My name is not Dzamefe, but I believe that it's been a hospitable program for you today. My name is Albert Okran, saying God bless you, and God bless you.